An ordinary boy read a forbidden book and began to see fabulous creatures. Let's find out who he became after that. 70 brave hero or a patient in a psychiatric hospital. We see a mysterious laboratory which contains amazing creatures and unusual exhibits. There are live frogs, snakes, butterflies, and mantises among them, and also Sorbine, a real tiny fairy. This is the office of an eccentric scientist named Arthur Spiderwick. He writes a scientific manual about all the magical creatures that live in our world and puts a magic seal on his book. Suddenly, someone's angry growl is heard. Arthur goes to the window and looks anxiously into the distance. 80 years have passed. A car pulls up to Spiderwick's abandoned estate. In it sits a woman named Helen Grace and her children's thriving daughter Mallory and twin sons Jared and Simon. The woman says that they inherited this estate and will now live here. This house is dark, uncomfortable, and doesn't smell very nice. Jared doesn't want to get out of the car. It turns out that Helen recently divorced her husband, and Jared would like to stay with Dad in New York. Mallory arranges a fencing saber fight with him to cheer him up a little, but this angers the guy even more. Suddenly, Jared hears a noise coming from the woods. He immediately grabs his things and runs into the house. There he and Simon find a portrait of Arthur Spiderwick and his family. It turns out that his daughter Lucinda is in an insane asylum. She claimed that her father was abducted by some sylphs. In the afternoon, Helen notices that her keys are missing, and Mallory says that her medal has disappeared from important competitions. There is also a broken faucet in this house. Helen's phone rings. This is her ex-husband. He won't be able to visit them yet, and Jared is very upset about it. Soon the children realize that there is some kind of secret room behind the kitchen wall. They smash part of the fake partition and find an elevator there. It contains Mom's keys, Mallory's medal, and other lost items. Mallory and Simon leave because they don't want to clean up here, and Jared decides to investigate the mysterious elevator. He climbs inside and uses a rope to climb up. Jared ends up in Arthur Spiderwick's office, which we saw at the beginning of the movie. Among various books, test tubes, and portraits, the boy finds a chest with his great-grandfather's belongings. Hidden in one of the scientist's old shirts is the same scientific manual about magical creatures. At this point, Jared's flashlight starts spinning on its own. The boy gets scared, grabs a book, and goes down in the elevator. He wakes Simon up and tells his brother about the secret room. However, Simon is too sleepy and doesn't believe him. Then Jared tears the seal off the book. He hears a strange noise and finds his pet rats in his bed. Someone is watching him from behind the bookshelf. Jared hides in a large chest and opens a strange book. He learns about the existence of fantastic creatures and how you can see things that others don't see. It turns out that there are not only kind beings in the world with whom you can make friends, but also those who are worth being afraid of. All evil creatures serve the cruel ogre Mulgareth, who can change his appearance. He wants to take over the knowledge hidden in this book. At this moment, Mallory's wild scream is heard. It turns out that someone had tangled her hair and tied it to the bed. The girl thinks Jared did it. In the morning, Mallory and Simon are fencing with sabers, and Jared brings them the book he found. He is sure that Mallory's hair was tied by a brownie, as he is not happy about their presence. And again, no one believes the boy. Then Jared decides to appease the brownie with gifts and sweets. He waits so long for his appearance that he even falls asleep. When the boy wakes up, he notices that someone is eating his treats. This is a real brownie. His name is Seamstress, and he knows how to talk. The brownie is very angry at the boy because he opens Spiderwick's book, and even changes his appearance to look more formidable. The fact is that the tailor was supposed to protect this book from the orc Mulgareth, and now it has fallen into the wrong hands. Jared treats the angry brownie to crackers with honey, and he becomes kind and sweet again. The dressmaker shows the boy a protective mushroom circle, beyond which dark forces cannot enter. The problem is that Simon is walking down the street and goes outside of this circle. Suddenly, he falls and is dragged into the forest by an invisible force. The brownie goes berserk again and throws a leaky stone at Jared. The boy looks through him and sees that Simon is being abducted by evil goblins. Jared grabs the book and runs to save his brother. With the help of the leaky stone, he sees that Simon has been brought to the goblin camp and put in a cage. Our hero notices another prisoner. This is a hobgoblin named Peskin, and he wants to take revenge on Ogre Mulgareth for the death of his family. Jared frees the Sandman from the cage. As a sign of gratitude, Hob the Goblin spits in his eyes, so that the boy can see the fabulous creatures even without the leaky stone. Simon is very scared, because he feels someone's presence, but he doesn't see anyone. Jared tries to save him, but at that moment the goblins summon Mulgareth. An ancient old man appears from the ground. Could this really be the formidable ogre Mulgarath? Yes, that is him, because this monster can take on various forms. The goblins search Simon and inform their master that he does not have any book. Mulgarath releases the boy, but on condition that he immediately brings him the book he needs. In fact, Org wants to get rid of both Simon and his family. Jared finds his brother, and they immediately start fighting over the book. Goblins appear nearby, and the twins escape from them to their home in their protective circle. Unfortunately, Mallory is outside of it at this time. The girl is attacked by goblins, but she fights off invisible enemies with her fencing saber. Jared tells his sister where to hit, and then throws her a leaky stone so she can see her rivals. And this girl is a great fighter. Our heroes return to the house, and notice that Simon is injured. Jared and Mallory treat his wound, and then climb to the roof, and see that their mansion is surrounded by hundreds of goblins. Going downstairs, they meet a party girl. He stands on the book and scolds the guys for not guarding it well. Jared and Mallory calm the brownie down with honey. Simon suggests burning Spiderwick's book. Our heroes light a fire and throw a dangerous book into it. The Black Raven tries to break through the protective circle, but cannot do so. The problem is that this book is not on fire. Then the boys realize that they need the advice of their grandmother Lucinda. But how do they get out of the house? Fortunately, the partner knows the secret passage. While Simon distracts the goblins, Mallory and Jared escape through an underground tunnel. The girl manages to take her fencing saber with her, and Jared takes a book by Arthur Spiderwick. Goblins summon a troll. He is very strong, scary, and big. The troll attacks Jared and Mallory. The guys barely manage to escape from him and rise to the surface. Fortunately, the troll gets hit by a truck. -1 problem. Meanwhile, Simon learns with the help of his partner that the best weapons against goblins are tomato sauce, vinegar, and salt. The boy makes a whole pot of weapons against these harmful monsters, while the brownie eats all the honey in their house. And Jared and Mallory need to find Lucinda urgently. Fortunately, the guys have her address, so it is not difficult to do this. Our heroes find their grandmother. She is already quite old and lives in a psychiatric boarding house surrounded by fairy tale fairies. Jared shows Lucinda a book by Arthur Spiderwick. The old lady says that when she was little, goblins tried to kidnap her. Arthur saved his daughter, but he himself was abducted by the sylphs. These are the spirits of the air that protect the entire fairy tale world. Lucinda admits that the only way to defeat the ogre Mulgarath is to find Arthur and force him to destroy his book. At that moment, the goblins attack them through the window and rip several pages out of Spiderwick's book. Lucinda chases the goblins away with salt, and at that moment Helen appears in her room. What an unexpected meeting. Mulgarath examines the stolen pages of the book and is delighted to find information there on how to break the protective mushroom circle. On the way home, Jared and Mallory tell their mom about what happened to them. Of course, Helen doesn't believe them. Because of this, Jared screams, fights, and tells his mom that he hates her. The guys notice that the goblins are no longer surrounding their house. Instead, an angry Sandman now stands near the protective circle and informs them that Mulgarath will come here when the full moon rises. He spits on Mallory and Simon so they can see him too. Jared calls his father, but no one answers. Then Mallory finally tells her brother the truth, Tivin. Her father will not return to them since he now lives with another woman. Jared, Simon, and Mallory use an elvish spell from Spiderwick's book and summon a huge griffin. With his help, our heroes travel to the realm of the sylphs. It is a dangerous but incredibly exciting flight. In the realm of the sylphs, the boys meet the living Arthur Spiderwick. He hasn't aged at all in all these years. They tell their great-grandfather about everything that happened to them. Jared asks Arthur to destroy the dangerous book. The problem is that the sly party guys switched the pages, and our heroes brought here not Spiderwick's magic manual, but an ordinary cookbook. Upon learning that Mulgarath has stolen several pages and will soon destroy the protective mushroom circle, Arthur is horrified. The sylphs won't let them leave because they know too much. Scientists distract the spirit into the air with the help of a fake book. And at that moment, our heroes summon the griffin again and fly home on it. There, the guys see that the goblins are already watering the protective mushroom circle with a special potion. At this moment, Helen returns home. The guys jump into her car and force her to drive up to the house itself in order to be in a protective circle. At first, Helen does not believe them, but when she sees the twin, she realizes that the children are not lying to her. The family sprinkles salt on everything, makes tomato bombs, grabs kitchen knives, and prepares for battle. When the full moon appears in the sky, the protective mushroom circle collapses. The goblins charge. Salt is scattered on the windows, so the monsters break the steps to break into the house from under the floor. Their plan is working. Our heroes use their tomato bombs, sabers, knives, but there are too many enemies. The family barricades themselves in one of the rooms, but there they are attacked by a huge troll. Our heroes run into the kitchen and stuff more than 10 cans of tomato sauce into the oven. They light it up and cause a huge explosion. All the goblins and even the troll immediately dissolve and become ordinary green spots on the floor. Suddenly, there is a noise in the house. This is Richard, Helen's ex-husband and the father of her children. Jared quickly realizes that it is a disguised Mulgareth and attacks him. Mulgareth reveals his true form and chases Jared around the house to take away Spiderwick's book from him. An evil orc overtakes the boy on the roof. Jared throws the magic book down. Mulgareth transforms into a raven and grabs her in his claws. However, he is suddenly caught and eaten by an eternally hungry sandman. Several weeks pass. Sunny invites Grandma Lucinda to visit. She happily greets her partner and goes outside. Arthur appears there, surrounded by sylphs. They finally allowed him to meet his daughter. Arthur can't stay here for long, or he'll turn to dust. Then Lucinda asks her father for permission to leave with him. Arthur holds out his hand to her, and she turns into a 6-year-old girl. Our heroes see how the sylphs take them to their kingdom.